It is time to face the monster again. I had literal nightmares from this sailing the ocean with Charles Darwin, Galapagos Islands, trying to come up with a theory of how to beat this game, but every time I wanted to set foot on one of the islands, there was a monster in the ocean. It would laugh at me. Ha 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 ha, you're not getting this. It's mine. At least we are not losing the barbarians, right? 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 He found a turn where he would reveal a good harvest, use Barbarossa, and go into famine. What can I say? I guess I'm just not a good enough player to see this coming. What can I say? The Hydra at least didn't reveal it, so we have some time before the inevitable loss of population. The Hydra very unsurprisingly goes for the scientific method and grabs Rifleman for 2. Sorry, I guess I had no patience to contemplate their options. There were also just too many options. Could have been anything. I guess Riflemen were important. This was very clear, the upgrade. I guess you could argue that, yeah, apparently they didn't have the rocks to upgrade twice or prioritize getting strongest again. Might indicate that there's also strength related events. Yeah, but what are we stuck with? So, first of all, I'm not playing for position 2. It's time to go get some risks, take some risks in order to still be able to win the game. I think in any isolated game, it's healthier for the game state, or it's just a more interesting game state overall for every player involved if everyone tries to win the game. Yeah, I'm torn between, for tournaments. I also rarely go for second place, but in some tournaments it's just, yeah, the most reasonable thing to do. Of course, I will go for a second place in a world championship game where second place is enough. And I do realize that realistically, only giving tournament points for the winner of a game in 4-player games, it would be a little weird. But I do think it's healthier for the meta game of a single game. Anyway, yeah, I'm not playing for second. I'm playing for first. That means we need some risks. That's also the whole rationale behind seeding this vast, hoping to win this. I'm still hoping kinda to win this, being able to bid this Legion, maybe after this turn draw some more of those. And with the exact precision timing on our turn, next turn, not this turn, reveal the vast territory and win it. Possibly. Now, of course, we are in a vulnerable position. They could go here. Mayondor could go for Napoleon and wars, and they don't threaten a war all that much, but it's also not impossible, I guess. But I actually hope that Mayondor is a reasonable person and just goes for Shakespeare for his real out to win the game, and that's Shakespeare opera. And they could still go for Napoleon, I guess, but they want to take Cook. It would be a little insane to not take Cook. Just take Napoleon for one war? No. In a position where they aren't even like this insanely strong. They could have, no, we do have this, yeah? Okay, they could have, I don't know what they could have. So, long story short, I'm not going all in defending possible wars here. I don't think that feels right. Am I even recording? I think I am. I usually test it before I start recording, but I was procrastinating this turn already for 2 days since the monster is too strong. But I have to face it. We all have to face our fears together, huh? And yeah, I pre-thought this turn. I even discussed a little in Discord some options. So some conservative turns are like taking this since we might need it, and upgrading this since we are losing population, right? And then take patriotism, cavalryman, develop architecture, urban growth. I think that's a very reasonable option. But I just don't think it has any outs to win the game. Especially spending rocks into food now. This turn doesn't build the wonder next turn. I really want it to be there. I want to be in like 1 or 2 turns in a situation where we do have decent rock income. And this organized religion just costs 7 rocks. I mean, with architecture it's 5. But this team sports, it only costs 3 rocks with architecture. So it's basically free if we have an urban growth. And there's Kubata. So playing team sports can be a win condition. Taking this organized religion might be necessary, but I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I want to pray. So what does it even pray mean? I mean, they are not taking team spots for 3 if it even drops. And they might hate draft it if they see that that my civilization dies if we don't get it. Then they might hate draft it. But then we might still high roll and just get a pro spot. And get, like, I don't know, 1 or 2 turns, survive like this somehow. With this vast territory, right? So we have to, I know, it's all a little insane, but we have to find the path to victory, and that lies in winning some 5% bets here. Otherwise, we're just, I mean, not even going for second, I guess, like this. Not even. But as I said, I don't want to look how to end up second place here. I want to find the path to victory, and that's with some risks, definitely. So seeding is not an option into this barbarians. I'm glad that this at least is easy in this turn, and then we want to finish this wonder next turn. So I guess it's kinda close between those two, upgrading this and starting the wonder, but upgrading this means I can't finish it. So we are just, this is just also a sign. No corruption like this. It's, you have to, be wary of when the universe is talking to you. This is a turn where we have 1 cube left. So it has to be correct, right? If that is not sound logic, I don't know. Where are you, philosophers out there? Patriotism is obvious. Cavalrymen, hobby horses, some call it, very good name, is obvious for the Holy Trinity of H2 red tags. And then we do want this urban growth. Didn't I find a turn once where I could take both urban growths? I think it involved, I don't even know, it involved taking corruption. That's not an option. What happened there? Is there a turn where we can take both urban growths? Not taking cavalryman is insane, I guess. Could argue that they don't do a lot. Could argue that back, I don't know, 4 turns back, I think I had the option to take an efficient upgrade rather than one of those 2 cards. Let's look at quickly. You want to look at it? I think it was somewhere here. Was very early in H2. These are the situations that differentiate a normal player from a very good player. He will know 3 turns later. This okay, it was on 2, huh? It was on 2, but I did contemplate, I remember. I think I have it on tape. Contemplate taking this rather than one of those 2. Rather than those cannons, right? Yeah, we could have had those efficient upgrades now. What I'm saying. I mean, some things are different then also, right? So Highlander would have had the cannons earlier. Weidenbaum would have possibly had the option to take cannons. Maybe they have cannons tactics. So there's a lot of ifs, and I don't know if I would go back to this. If I would take the sufficient upgrade instead. But right now, we can agree that we wish we did. Stop replay. Is it? Yeah. Right now, I think we can all agree that we wish we had this efficient upgrade here instead of those cannons. It would make everything a lot better. Yeah, those are the small differences, I guess, huh? But let me know, do you agree? Going back, would you take those efficient upgrades? I mean, seeing this. As a reminder, you do have to take into account them with cannons and the mobile artillery, them with cannons and fortifications maybe earlier. Who knows, right? I mean, we could have also taken cannons and leave riflemen there. Then they would have had riflemen here earlier. Yeah, but who knows? So is there a turn where I can take both groves? I did do that in one of the variations. That's the first turn where I pre-thought. All the other turns I went in and recorded on the fly. It's the first turn where I thought about the game before I recorded. And I did have a variation with this. I assume it was something like this. No, I don't even know. It's not possible. It's impossible. So this, and growth. And then, yeah, I guess of these things, we kind of always want to develop those riflemen, I assume. Even if we had the modern infantry earlier, you would still stick to the rifleman. That's not entirely true for selective breeding. We could go for the game where we take all the text and then just... Yeah, what I'm trying to say is if this is one of the first cards in the row, we do have... That's the one thing we have going for us. A lot of civil actions, especially for techs. That is not a cost, so we could just take the mechanized agriculture and go for that. So I'm trying to rationalize not developing this. So taking this, I mean. If we take this, our hand is full. I hate that. Given the fact that we still want to, we were pretty unlucky, to be honest, also with how the yellow cards... I mean, not real talk here. This is a crazy high roll for them. They are Hammurabi. I don't want to, I don't know, cry about it, but just we have to be reasonable here, right? Assessing what happened. And I'm pretty sure that this was an insane high roll, what happened here. It's not like... we can go back and discuss some decisions of seeding colonies, and maybe at some point, I think this inhabited can argue, okay, that was wrong at that point, maybe. But all the others I would do again. It's not like we blindly seeded colony, as some of the commenters suggest. Like we are, here, have some colonies, Hydra. It's not what happened. Like, did we watch the same game? Yeah, this is just an insane high roll. And there is, I think I've mentioned 5 times this rationale of seeding this vast. How did I end up on this rant? I forgot. So, organize religion or develop something. I don't want to clutter the hand with this organized religion when I don't think that this is in any sense helping me to win the game. So I'd rather develop something else. Maybe it's then selective breeding after all. They are taking this one almost 100%. What are we developing? I mean, you could also argue that we are in a lot of cases required to develop this. Yeah. Could also be arms industry, huh? I mean, they would have seeded anything they got to reveal their colonies. There can be an arms industry, right? Can be 4 rock income here. They would have seeded. It's not like they would choose the arms industry if they had options, but when they did seed, they had like 1 or 2 cards only. So they would have seeded anything to reveal the colonies. Yeah, I'm going with this. I mean, the arms industry is not. It's just happy by thought, helping me to rationalize. But yeah, I mean, this is just a full hand. We are only losing irrigation. It's just a full hand, and I don't want to play this organized religion. This has some room to breathe, to take some yellow cards. Admittedly, not that many left, but yellow cards. There might be H3 cards already in the row. 1 or 2, maybe 3. And there can be very happy cards here. Here, this Pro Spot, as I said. Macaque, as I said. A military theory looks very good. Yes, we don't have. We do spend all our signs, but it was the entire point, right? To have freedom in spending signs, so to say. That makes sense. Maybe it doesn't. We will still be able. I mean, even if we spend all our signs now, we will be able to develop all the crucial tech that we take. Maybe not like in this instant, in that turn, but in a reasonable time. So military theory is one of the techs that I'm looking at. And a government's not so much like this, but still not impossible to just take one in hand. Pro spots. I don't even know if it's multimedia. Like we already have the journalism in hand, and journalism architecture it's very good. I think honestly, the mechanized agriculture would also be a crazy boost. So much better than selective breeding. Then we might even get by without the vast territory. The barbarians, yeah, that's the set. Like a good harvest into consumption, into famine. I mean, yeah. Okay, that's the turn. You don't agree? I don't care. Let's go. We can get rid of all of this. We have to hope to be able to seed, to reveal this, to draw 3 of those now, bid this legion, and hit this vast territory on our turn. Is that too much to ask? I think it's reasonable. I think it's a very reasonable demand. 1. Yeah, look, 1. Cold War. Not the best to give 6 sides to the guy, but by then, by the time this Cold War is reviewed, the game's already over. I think that's also something you need to take in mind, to have in mind when seeding. The game will already be over, possibly, until it's revealed, and they will have their science engine by then. We might even set up to win it. I will be willing to seed it at least 1. Look, it was almost the nuts, right? This one of those, and I would be very happy. But 1, I think with the Legion, if we hit this territory, then we are in a reasonable position to win the territory. By then, they will have swapped to Cook. Cook's also just 2 plus 2. They don't have a navigation. Okay, they can they can have a navigation by then. I'm curious if they go for it. If they had even more colonies here, because I don't think they will go for the navigation if they don't have a colony here. They must assume that no one is insane enough to still seed colonies here, right? So yes, I hope they won't go for it. But if they themselves have even another colony here, then they might go for it. All right, that's the turn. I'm still hopeful. I think there's some chances to win this. Maybe, I don't know, something like 7%. We would see.